Well, hello everyone and welcome to the Bowl University studio in the International Bowling Campus here in Arlington, Texas. This is the Profit Break. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, we're glad you're here. Give us 15 minutes and you're going to be well on your way to improving yourself and your profitability. Now, getting more done with less doesn't seem to be a slogan for many. It really just feels like a normal way of life. Now, if I asked all of you, how many of you have too much to do and not enough hours a day to get it done? Every head would shake yes and every hand would go up. Now, folks, there is hope. You can get your time and your life back, and today's guest is joining us to share how we can use AI, artificial intelligence, specifically ChatGPT, to help. Joining us in studio today is Courtney Ramsey. Courtney is a seasoned professional with over 20 years experience in the learning and development field and also human resource. Now, over the years, she has successfully trained tens of thousands of associates in various areas, such as leadership, business management, conflict resolution, communication skills, and operations with brands like JCPenney, Toyota, Populous Financial Group, and Zales. And if that didn't keep her busy enough, she's the author of Share Your Genius, 35 Tips to Create Training That Transforms, which is available at Amazon. Now, we always love it when a guest can stop by the studio and join us in person. Courtney, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Yeah. Now, Courtney, you're going to be joining us at our Bowl Expo in Denver. We're excited about that. But you're going to be joining us for the first time. So many of our folks joining us today at Expo, we don't know a lot about you.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your background to start out with.
Well, I feel like you already gave me such a great introduction, so you know a little bit about my background already. But I will tell you, most of my professional time has been spent in training and development. So primarily training leaders for those companies you mentioned, and also the operational side. One of the best and coolest jobs I had was back when I worked for JCPenney, and we had the Sephora division, which was like a little makeup store. Sephora is a whole different company based out in San Francisco, but JCPenney and Sephora came together to put makeup stores within JCPenney. So I trained the leaders on how to run those stores, but also we trained the operations side of the business and how to engage and retain your teams more as well.
Yeah, great. Well, obviously you've got an extensive leadership and development background, so let's dig in a little bit. I often don't think about, leadership development and technology in the same breath, right? Almost sometimes see them as separate things. So how did you get started with AI, specifically ChatGPT? And are you like a closet techie, or where do you fit on that technology scale?
No. In fact, anyone who attends my session, I will tell you right away, I am not a techie. Like, don't ask me how ChatGPT works in the background. What I can tell you is that I'm more of a super user. So to answer your question, about a year ago now, which was shortly after ChatGPT was released, I started using it for my own business. And I just started finding little ways I could use it to save myself 30 minutes here, an hour there. And so I consider myself a super user of it, and that's more of the approach I'm taking when I share everything with the team out in July.
Great, you're going to fit in perfectly with our group then. So let's talk about you. You come in contact with a lot of clients, a lot of small business owners. In this post-pandemic world we live in it, there are a lot of societal trends, and not all of them are good ones. We all are facing a lot of stress, a lot of pressure, how to get more done, whether you refer to it as time management or productivity. What are some of the challenges you see people facing? And then how does technology and things like ChatGPT, how does that even fit in?
Yeah. Well, when you think about some of the challenges we're all facing, I think of us, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I kind of feel like a firefighter every day. Like, don't you feel like there's always a fire you have to put out? And you wake up that morning, you didn't expect that fire to be there, but before you know it, that's what your focus is of the day. So we find sometimes that our best laid intentions and our best plans for the day have to be put on the back burner in favor of putting out this fire that just popped up in front of us. And I think that's one of the biggest things that causes us stress. We all know what we need to be doing, and we know what we should be prioritizing for our business to make it run accordingly. But sometimes other things pop up that seem very important and very urgent. So I find that ChatGPT can really help you put out some of those little fires here and there. It's almost like having someone on standby to ask a few questions too, to help give you some really fast solutions. It can also be a great way to save time when you're looking at a blank screen and you have to maybe respond to a customer email and they're ticked off because their kid had a bad time at their birthday party, or someone had to wait for a lane far too long, and you have to respond to that email. Respond to a positive or a negative review on Google or Yelp or things like that. Those little pockets of time that we can make up by using things like ChatGPT can actually bring down our stress levels.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can think about those items that seem like everyday tasks that you have as an owner, operator, or manager.
Right.
That you really can use technology as your friend to help achieve that. So we talked a little bit about, you don't consider yourself a tech savvy person. You're a super user.
Right.
Our business folks, the wonderful small business operators, many of them don't consider themselves tech savvy at all either. So this can be a little overwhelming, a little intimidating. How do we break down some of those barriers? How do you talk us off the ledge, if we're still not sure where to start?
So good news, I like to say if you can use Google, and if you had an assistant and you could tell him or her something you wanted them to do, you can actually use ChatGPT. So really what this is, if you almost thought of ChatGPT as a super form of Google search engine, but with just much better capabilities, almost like a human being you could ask a question to or give a task to. As long as you can type that out, you're good to go. So for example, let's say you wanted to ask ChatGPT about how to do a better job on your social media, right? You could go to ChatGPT and you could say, hey, ChatGPT, I want to have a schedule of posts. I could do at least one a month, highlighting some special event of the month. Create a post targeting this audience, write it kind of in this tone of voice, and maybe use an emoji here or there, use this hashtag, and it's going to come back with a post for every single month that after you read through and you decide if you like it or not, right, you can essentially copy and paste. Think about that. Just that in itself, if you were to come back with 12 automatic social media posts that you could use, that just probably saved you at least 30 minutes to an hour, if not more, of your life right there. And that's really just asking essentially ChatGPT in a humanized voice, do this for me.
Yeah. Now, I know you're going to dig into this much deeper when you're with us in Denver, in your Learning Lab session you're going to do with us.
Yeah.
But let's take a step back even for one-on-one folks. We're familiar with Google and the search bar and where to go for that browser. I mean, where do you even get started? Do you have to pay for ChatGPT? How do you find it? Do you sign up? Can you share a tip for someone that may want to just experiment a little bit before they join you at Bowl Expo?
Yes, absolutely. So it's not hard to find it. I would just say go to the search engine of your choice, type in ChatGPT, so ChatGPT all together, hit enter. Typically, the very first response you're going to get from a Google or a Bing or whatever you're using is the right one. Click on that one, and it's going to take you to a login page. You do have to create an account, so be aware of that. But the good news is there's a free account. Works great using the current model of the free version of ChatGPT. Now, if you wanted to pay for it to get a slightly more robust version of ChatGPT, which I'll talk about in July, that's about $20 a month. But you can try it out, and it's not like you have a contract. You can cancel that at any time. But that's what I would recommend. Go to Google, search ChatGPT, go to the site, start your own free account, and just start playing around with it.
Yeah, so there's really no reason they couldn't go today and get started to at least build an account, get familiar, come join you, dig a little deeper.
Yes.
Well, let's dig in a little bit if we can. You shared a great kind of a task for us on the marketing front. As it relates to productivity, any quick tips or things and ways that as folks are building their account, maybe trying it for the first time, or maybe haven't thought about it in a way to improve productivity or time management, a couple tips you could share with us?
Absolutely. So it's really fantastic for thinking of new innovative ideas for you. So for example, let's say that you have a food and beverage area. You wanted to have a great new drink for Valentine's Day. You could ask it to generate 10 ideas for new special drinks just that target Valentine's Day and have something to do with bowling. And you could get back like 10 or so really fun creative titles for your special drink of the month, if you will. That's one way. You could also use it even just, like I said, to respond to a feisty, spicy email. So imagine you get a customer email that you know you need to respond to kind of help subside this customer's concerns and respond to them in a thoughtful way. But quite frankly, you don't want to take the time to do it. You can actually copy that customer's email, paste it into ChatGPT and say, hey, respond to this in a friendly, conversational, client effective way, right? And make an offering to potentially get this person $20 off their next lane rental, right? And it's going to come back with essentially a draft email that you can decide if you like or not. You can edit it down or edit it to be more of what you would actually say. And then you can copy and paste that into the email, respond to your customer, and you just save probably 30 minutes.
Yeah, not only do you save time, you probably get a much better quality answer as well.
I mean, if we're keeping it real.
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause I know me too. I will sometimes proofread something 10,000 times and I still catch the one grammatical error or the spelling error or something, you know?
Well, I think one of the roadblocks we hit is we don't know where to start. You
Yeah.
get that writer's block.
The blank screen, right?
Where to start.
You're like, oh, and you're thinking, well, I have, 5,000 other things I should be doing. I don't even want to take the time to respond to this. So it's really great for that, the blank screen, and just not taking an hour to do something that could take you 5 minutes.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal tip. That's a great tip there, because we often get that at our management school when proprietors and managers come visit. How do we respond to negative comments? Where do we start? Should we respond? What does that look like? And why not use technology to help you?
Try it out. Try it out.
That's awesome.
That's actually the first place I would try it.
Yeah, I'm going to be using that tip myself there. So how about for you personally? You're a fellow small business owner yourself, and so how do you use ChatGPT to help you be more productive and successful in your day? I mean, you shared some great tips for us as small business owners, but anything how do you use it?
So for the things we already mentioned, definitely that. I do a lot of speaking. So I come out to businesses and I create new training courses primarily around leadership development. So a lot of times if I need to put together a description for a conference like we're going to have in July, I might say, okay, here's the basics of this workshop. Here's my 3 learning objectives. This is what I'm teaching, but here's the conference title. Help me customize it just for them. And so it's my idea, it's my content, but ChatGPT is going in and helping me put something together in kind of a fun and engaging way that would really speak to people like all of you who are going to be attending the conference. So I love using it for that. I love it for idea generation. Yeah. What if y'all came back to me and said, hey, Courtney, we really need to put together a class on how to teach our owners and operators how to have tough conversations with their teams, but we want it personalized to us. I already have that class built. I know what the content is, but I could use ChatGPT to help me come up with very specific learning scenarios that your people could practice in that class that seem very customized to owners and operators of bowling leagues.
Yeah, that is really fascinating how you're using that in a way for training and development outside of some of the things we may typically think about. Yeah. Good stuff.
It's really like almost having a virtual assistant or some sort of a subject matter expert on the sidelines for you to ask questions to. And you can they're on speed dial,
Yeah, phenomenal. So before we let you get away today, I have one more question for you. We're really excited again that you're going to be with us in Denver at Bowl Expo, which is great. But we're doing something new this year in the spirit of innovation and continual improvement. You have been kind enough to join us for one of our EduTalks. So folks, we're going to have brand new EduTalks. Think TED Talk, only better. And they're going to be a 25-minute session with some of our best speakers. And Courtney's been kind enough to do one of those TED Talks with us. So can you give us a little snippet of what might you share during that EduTalk time with us outside of your traditional session?
Absolutely. And I kind of just alluded to it because it's one of my favorite things to talk about ever. It's around tough conversations and how we often hit snooze on the conversations that really matter. And we do that both in our private lives, our personal lives, but we also do it at work. And it can really I like to call it, we hit snooze, right? We mean to get to it, but those fires we talked about pop up. Or quite frankly, we mean to get to it today, but they seem like they're in a really bad mood today and we don't want to make it worse. Or maybe we had a really bad morning and we don't even want to approach the topic that day. So we keep hitting that snooze button and we find that these small things that if we just would have talked about it when it became a thing, we could have taken care of it, but then we hit snooze on it, so it's grown into a much bigger thing. I am on a mission to help everyone to really stop doing that, to stop hitting those conversation snooze buttons. So we're going to talk really briefly, so this is a short talk, about how we can get past the snooze button and start really having more intentional conversations.
Good. Sounds great. I'm not going to hit snooze, and I'm going to make sure I'm there for that one as well. So,
hey,
Courtney,
love it.
Thank you again for coming into the studio.
My
we
pleasure.
look forward to having you with us at Bowl Expo. It's going to be great.
Thank you so much for having me. Can't wait.
Awesome. Well, hey folks, if you're ready to embrace technology and utilize AI, then you're not going to want to miss Courtney's session at Bowl Expo in Denver on Wednesday, July 3rd, and her EduTalk. Now, if you're ready to start improving your profitability, you can reach us anytime at education@bpa.com. So as we wrap up another edition of The Profit Break, remember, when you're focused on growing people, people will grow your business. This episode, as well as all our previous episodes, are available 24/7 for you and your team at bowlinguniversity.net. Plus, we have new episodes available every month. Mark your calendar, watch your email, join us on Facebook to hear about all the latest episodes. Until then, I'm Bart Berger, and remember, do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. We'll see you next time.